Hi there, this is Art and Such with my Rainbow Loom tutorial for Clawed Wolf from Monster High. For this pattern you're going to need a hook and your loom in the offset configuration. You are going to need 2 shades of brown, one for the skin tone, one for the hair, some white, gray, 2 shades of blue, and purple. And for the eyes, I used beads originally. These are the smaller pony beads. I think I'm gonna just throw a couple more of those on today. And okay, we'll put on a couple just to show you how they go. You can also grab a Sharpie to draw the pupils on. Another alternative would be to make these with bands, and you might want then some white and some green or hazel. And for the teeth, I took a couple of white seed beads. If you have those on hand, you can thread those on with dental floss and then tie it in. I'll show you a little bit about how to do that at the end. And there are 1 or 2 ways you could do it with bands. I feel like this looks a little nicer, but I'll give you some options. So we're going to jump right into it and start with the arms. Grab 2 of your skin tone color, or 1 if you want to save some bands. And I'm going to put them on the end and wrap around once, twice, 3 times. And from here, we're going to put it onto a single doubled over skin tone band. So take it, stretch it, twist it, bring it back onto itself, and pop it on the end, slide it over, and take that other side which is on your finger, bring it back on top. And we need a total of 8 doubled over singles, so I'm going to put out another 7 and do the same thing. So here's my second one, my third one. Now if you decide that you'd like him to have longer sleeves, you can always stop this part earlier on and switch to your sleeve color. It will be doing 2 bands at a time when I'm putting on my upper arm blue sleeves, so that will broaden it up where the kind of shirt cuff, I guess it's not a cuff, the shirt sleeve, joins with the rest of the arm. Okay, and when you have all 8, you're going to go and get your lighter sleeve color. I'm using this pale blue here, and we'll take 2, hold them together and put them on the end, slide over and replace, and another 2. Okay, the second arm is exactly the same. I'll make it a little bit faster so you can pause if you need a little extra time. I'm wrapping 2 together, pulling it onto 8 doubled over singles. And this is 4. And we've got 2 more to do. I have 2 more to do. You might be at a different part of the process, which is fine. And then I'll get my 2 blues, put them on together, and another 2 blues. Those are our arms complete. You can put them onto another hook if you'd like, or you can just slide them down out of the way. Onto the feet and legs next. We have 2 purple bands, or color of choice for the shoe. Wrap them once and twice, 3 times if you like. I'm gonna slide it onto 2 more purple, and I'm gonna bring this down on my hook a little, pinch it with my left hand, take a single, put it on the top, wrap 1, 2, 3, turn it back around, and then replace. And this way that second piece will sit in between. I'm going to take another 2 purple, put them on the end, and slide this over. We're going to try and keep it in the same order as much as possible so we don't have to do a lot of fiddling after. And replace. And then I'm going to take a single purple, stretch, twist, double it over, slide it through. Now the reason I like to do that last doubled over is I find it gives it a little more of a hinge or a separation point in the leg. If you don't like the way that looks, you can keep it at 2 bands together. One might be a little weak just on its own though. And from here it gets a little bit easier. We're going to be taking 7 sets of 2 bands together, skin tone color, and putting them on. So we'll do 2, another 2, our 3rd set, 4, 5, 6, and 7. I was wondering what that sound was. It's my cat eating the dead leaves of a plant in the other room. Strange kitty. Okay, and on to the next shoe. Same thing, 2 purple. Wrap on the hook together, 1, 2, 3. Or did we do 2 last time? 2 or 3? I think I did 2. See if that's too loose. If you like it tighter, you could do 3. I think I'll do the 2. That'll be okay. Okay, and onto 2 bands held together. Pinch it, wrap a 3rd one over the hook, replace, center, pull over 2 more purple. You know what? I do feel like the other side was a little tighter, but I'm okay with this for now. And replace. Try and even that out a little bit more. The centerpiece isn't so much at the center anymore. Okay, and this might be easier to fiddle with once it's off the hook there. At any rate, I'm going to put on my doubled over single. And my 7 sets of double skin tone bands, or dark skin tone brown bands. These are more of a caramel, really. Either way, 7 sets, 2 bands each. You know what, I forgot something, but we'll come back to it in a second. 6 and 7. So the other thing that I originally did, which we are going to replicate, is I did put on the start of the pattern legs here, but I wrote it on the 2nd line of my pattern, so I kind of missed that. With that in mind, you can grab 2 grays and put them on. Another 2. And then another 2. And we do have to do this with the other leg. If you're concerned about taking it off the hook, you can come back to that later. Otherwise, you might switch this to another hook or pop it on your loom. And let's add those 3 sets of double gray on right now really quickly. So this was the other leg. I'm just putting on 3 sets of double gray, which I meant to do before, and oops, but quick correct. There are 3. And back on, and we have our limbs. We can head over to the loom. Now, you're gonna have to bear with me a minute because I originally did mine on this loom, which is laid out a little differently. So I'm gonna work through this sort of slowly just to make sure as we go that I am giving you the right pegs to put these on. So our first step is to take 2 skin tone bands and put them from the top center to the 2nd peg down in the center. Then we're going to lay down another 2 skin tone bands, 2nd to 3rd. And we're going to take white for the collar. Oh, I should mention this. If you'd like this part to be white as well, you can swap this one out for 2 whites.
but I'm gonna leave it as is. I think this is all right. Taking 2 skin tone bands, and we're gonna, sorry, 2 white bands. We're gonna come down from the second center peg to the second peg, down on either side. And let me put my, I'm gonna move my purples out of the way. We're pretty well done with those. Now in the middle column, we're gonna come down alternating colors between dark blue and light blue. So 2 dark blue from the 3rd to the 4th, 2 light from the 4th to the 5th, 2 dark from the 5th to the 6th, 2 light from the 6th to the 7th. That's 1, 2, 3. 1 more set of dark blue, 1 more set of light blue, and then 1 set of silver. And I'm gonna do just a double check on that for you before we start on the sides. Light, blue, dark, light, silver, or gray. Okay, and then on either side, starting from the second peg down, we are going to, we're going to do the exact same thing. So 2 dark on either side. You can do these one after the other or go back and forth, as I think I'm going to do here. 2 light, 2 dark, and back to the light, and the dark, light blue. Hold this up for you in just a minute to see. And then our last set should be silver, or gray. I keep saying silver. This is really just a gray, plain old gray. So on the loom I used before, these all lined up. On the offset, your middle one should line just before the others. Excuse me. Oh. Okay. Oh boy, sorry, I've got some allergies or something here. You're gonna take 2 silver bands, or gray bands, put it on the end of your hook and slide your leg pieces over. And then we'll lay this across from the last pegs that you used on either side. These are 5 pegs up from the bottom if you want to count it that way. And then we're going to make sure each of those legs is on one side or the other. And I'm going to take one part of that band and, is that what we want to do? You know what, I think we'll just leave it where it was. Okay, so let it sit right there. The arms can now go onto the second pegs from the top. If you want them to curl a certain way, you might put them on upside down, or take it off the hook, flip it, or just put it on the opposite side. But I like to try to have my arms curling in if they're gonna curl, instead of like away to the back. And okay, for our holding bags, you can use the light blue or the dark blue. We are going to be doubling them over. So take a single, twist it, double it over, and these are going to go across all of your 3rd pegs down and form a triangle. And keep repeating below. If you want to use dark blue and light blue bands and alternate, you can. If you want them to have a broader torso, you can do 2 bands together at a time, not doubled over. That definitely will thicken him out though, and I was trying to affect a kind of skinny, lean clod wolf. So that is up to you. But I'm gonna keep doing these doubled over singles. I guess also if this is hard on your particular loom, or if it's hard on your fingers, you can stick with 2 bands instead of doing 1 doubled. You know what, I am gonna take this one and bring it, the one holding the legs, and bring it up over the middle just so it's kind of like a holding there too. And I do believe that is all we need before we can, in order to loop up the body. So I will start in the middle.
Oh, yeah, we do have to reach that over. Okay. I'm gonna get the 2 light blue bands that are on the 9th peg down, I believe that is, and bring them up and over onto the peg above, the 2 dark blue, and I'm gonna keep going until I reach the 2nd peg from the top. There should not be very much in your way here. So loop up your brown, your skin tone, and then don't go any further. We're going to come back down to the side, and we're going to be reaching in and looping up the bottom set of double bands. So put your hook inside the bands that are holding the legs, push it back, grab your bottom 2, bring them carefully over and onto the next peg, and you might find you need to hold this one down as you go. That's okay. Push back your light blue holding bands, get the bottom 2 blue. You can always use your finger or your hook to pull them out to the side if you need some help like separating them. And we're going to do this until we get to the peg that has the arm on it. Sorry, I got a bit of the sniffles, but we're almost done this part, so I'm just gonna soldier on here. Keep going. And when you get to the one that has the arm, you want to reach in, push back, and get a hold of the 2 bottom white bands. If you need to get them one at a time, that is okay too. Those are going to come back to the peg that they came from, which is the 2nd peg down in the middle. So we've looped up 2 rows or 2 columns. We're going to go back to the other side. You can flip your loom around if it makes it easier for you to see and grab. And loop up to the top on that one. Well, up to the arm. Okay, and reach into the arm for that bottom white. Bottom 2 whites, bring it in, and then back into the 2nd peg down, get the bottom 2 skin tones, bring them up and over the top. Now, these bands up here are holding everything together, so whatever you do, don't let go. You can put them onto a holding hook or a C-clip if you want, or just hold it in place for now. And then we're going to loosen up and remove the other bands from the loom. Why is that one so sticky there? I feel like it looks like I didn't loop that one in. Or maybe it's just stretched out. I'll see in a minute. I might have to just pull that in for now. When you have the bulk of your clod's body off of the loom, you can take your hook and put it through the bands on that top center peg. Get a good hold on it and remove the rest. Yeah, so this is a little bit loose here. I'm not sure what happened. I'm gonna just cinch that in, and I can tidy it up a little bit later. I won't waste your time on watching me go back to fix that. Sorry, give me just 1 minute. I'll do a really fast mini fix, get it out of the way. So I'm gonna go under a couple of bands, grab my loose ones. I think I forgot to loop those up. But the rest is holding together, so not the end of the world. Okay, I'm just cinching it under, or slipping it under some nearby bands. I'm going to put it on a C-clip, and then I will go back and fix that properly after the video. But, well, oh, I see. So it should be over here. You should be seeing the gray right here. That's what went wrong. If I hadn't missed those, this is what you ought to have coming off the loom. Sorry about that. And I wonder if I could even just clean this just a little bit more. This is bothering me. Well, it's a little better. Okay, so you should have something sort of like this, but hopefully it came out a little cleaner than mine. And let's head over to the loom. We'll start working on the head, hair, face. So I'm leaving this on the hook. I'm pulling it down. If it's in your way, you can always switch it to another. And then you want to get the color that you're using for the hair. You can decide how round a bun you want. I think I used about 5 bands. You can use 6 if you want. If you want it to be extra thick or save some bands, you can do fewer. We're going to wrap it once or twice onto your hook and then put it onto 2 bands of that same darker hair color or place, and we'll put this on the top center peg. So if you feel like that isn't big enough, you can again use more bands, or I suppose you can make a longer chain. I'm not sure that that would help though. Or you could put 3 or 4 bands through instead of just the 2. At any rate, I'm going to keep going here. We're going to take 2 of our darker color, top center to the top right, repeat on the other side. And now I have to interpret my picture because you can see it's going a different direction here. Okay, so in the middle we're going to come down once with 2 of that same hair color, top center to the second peg, and then I'm switching to my skin tone and I'm coming down 3 sides on either side with double bands. And it will be 4 times down in the middle, I believe, but we'll get that confirmed for you right away. One, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so in the middle then, from the second peg to the third peg, skin tone bands, or you know, the face color bands here, my lighter brown. 2, 3, and 4. You probably don't have to have all 4. If you want to just leave it at 3, you can. Or if you want to make the face even longer, you can. This is the shape that I got with mine. You know what? Should we try? Maybe we will try making it a little bit longer. Decisions. No, I'll keep it this way because this band will be a little more stretched out and it's going to make for a kind of sharper jawline. But if you want the jawline to be more square, you could put down 1 more set of double and then bring it in. I'm going to come down diagonally the long way here. And opposite side. Okay, the ears, for the ears, I'm back to my skin tone, facial tone. Now, there are some really good tutorials that show how to do like pig's ears and whatnot if you want to have a nice, sharp, fully filled in one. I went for something a little simple here, and that's a single wrapped about 3 to 4 times, and pulled onto 3 bands. And then that's going to go onto 1 doubled over single. And we'll get that done, and then I'll show you the finished one's ears again so you can see the effect this produces. These ones are so tight they don't want to go over. Hold on. Come in. One more. Which one is it? Hold on. I'm going to try that again. This is not working as well as I'd like it to. Oh, you know what? I think I did have it, but I was trying to pull over one of the 3 that should have been there. Let's try that again. There. That's how it ought to go. And a doubled over single. Okay. And then this is going to go onto the top side peg. Okay, so this is it as attached. This is about what it's going to look like when it's done. So if you want to make it a little bit short, you could use a couple doubled over bands instead of the 3. That will make it much more narrow though. I'm going to do one of these for the other side, so wrap it 3 times, pull onto 3. Oh, I got 2, missed 1. And onto
onto a doubled over single. So this is something you can definitely play around with if you're looking to make it longer, shorter, narrower. You can, as I say, double up the bands, use fewer bands, use more bands, and pop that on. Okay, and so that's my first layout picture there. For the second one, we need our skin tone some more. We're going to do some doubled over holding bands, and we'll do our hair piece after. So it's doubled over single, cross the second pegs down, make a little triangle, and we'll do one of these across the fourth and fifth in the middle, and the fourth down on the side. So this is going to be more of a diamond, and this last one is going to be for the eyes, which we can put on now. So I will show you option, we'll show you option 1 with bands, and then we'll pop on a couple of the mini pony beads, and hopefully that'll give you some things to work with. So if you want to use the band, let's say you want to do a light green and a dark green, or sorry, a light green and a white. So you can have the white for the pupil, put in your green, and then pull the white over. So the green's kind of in the middle. And you can make a couple of these and then put both of them together onto a doubled over caramel. Option 2 would be just to take your eye color bead. So if you just want, or sorry, band, if you just want green, you could just put a green on, and then put a second one on and put them both onto your doubled over caramel band. So you'll put on 2 beads at a, or 2 eyes at a time. And if you are using beads, you can thread them on using a piece of dental floss, or you can pop them on your hook if they have a larger hole, and whatever eyes you've used, you're going to find yourself with 2 of them going onto a doubled over caramel, and we'll stretch this across from the 3rd peg down on one side to the 3rd peg down on the other side. Then you want to get your hook between your eyes and pull the middle of it over that 3rd peg down. We can put our body on now. If there's a side you prefer to have on the top, you can face it so it's facing up. And the last thing is to put on the hair extension. So that's with our darker brown. Let's put these out of the way. And we're going to take a single, wrap it 2 or 3 times, and put on, we're going to do a chain. So 2 bands together, slide it over, replace, 2 bands, slide it over, replace, and 2 bands, slide it over, replace. We're going to put these on top of the ear. And then you want to grab that starting band at the end of the chain. Put your hook inside, and we're going to pull it down to right to the chin, so to the 4th peg down, put it on top, and then grab one piece, one little section of the band to put over those pegs in between. Now for the other side, wrap one twice, put it onto 3 sets of double bands. I really like these projects where everything is symmetrical. Makes it really easy to go from one side to the other without worrying too much about color placement, or you know, an extension here and having the arm on the wrong side or whatever. This is an easier one of the patterns, I think. Okay, so when you have all of this, we're going to be looping up from that 6th peg down. Push back the band that has the body, the neck on it, and you can even pull this under a nearby peg, but you just be aware it will stretch things out a little bit. Now I'm going to wiggle my hook around until I get to the 2 bands that are above the others, and they are coming from the left, and I'm going to loop them up. Now at this point you can keep going up that first row, or you can go back under the neck and get the ones that go to the right. And I'm choosing to do this because the sooner that I can secure this in,
the sooner I can pull that neck piece up and ease the tension. So the last two are going up, and then I'm going to come up from the 5th peg, reach in for the bottom two, and bring them over. So it should look sort of like this, and now we can release some of that pressure on the neck. Now I'm going to come up the sides. So we want the bottom row. If it helps, use your finger or your hook to pull it to the side. Push the rest out of the way and grab those bottom two and bring them forward. And we'll do that a couple more times until you get to the top. And reach through all of the bands until you can get to the bottom two darker hair colored bands. And bring them over. We're gonna repeat loop up the opposite side the same way. So go to the 4th peg down, get your bottom two caramel skin tone, the next two, and we'll reach in to loop up diagonally to the middle. I think I need to stretch these out a little. I can't believe we're almost all done here. Now we left off looping the middle up, or I did anyway, at the 4th peg down. So I'm going to go back in there and we'll loop up the last 3 times. Now on the last one, if you choose, you can bring this all the way over the knot that is there, like the big bun knot. You can bring it all the way over. That will help to secure it. It might tighten the phase up a little bit, so I'm just going to put in an ending holding band thing here. So I have one dark band on my finger. You can use 2 if you want for extra stability. And my hook is going to go down through all the bands on the top center peg. And the open part is pointing away, so it's not going to catch on anything. And I put my securing band here on, and when I pull it up, I can start turning it over, and we are just about done. So let's put the other end on, pull the further one over the top to create a slip knot, and hold on to that with your life. Put it on a hook if you need, or a C-clip, but that's again what's holding this together, so be careful not to lose that last piece there. And if it all looks secure, we can take this off of the loom. Almost. Okay, decide on which side you want for your front, if it's changed at all. And you can put your holding band, you can wrap it a couple of times over the bun, and or you can secure it at the back with a C-clip. For the eyes, if you have used beads, you can take your permanent marker and just dot on those pupils. For the one that I did, I used kind of olive green, and then I put or even a gold, and then I put my black on top, so that gave it a little bit of color. And the last thing I was going to show you was for the teeth. So option 1 would be to take a couple of seed beads, or small beads. And for this you will need scissors probably, and you will need dental floss, and you might want some clear nail polish, which you can put on afterwards. But really simply, you put it on a piece of floss or thread, leave a little room at the end, hold it up against the face where you want it to go, and then you'll bring your hook in from the back, grab the dental floss and pull it through, and repeat on the other side. Just don't let that first side slide off. So I'm going to hold that there. You can probably find another way to secure it, and this might take a little bit of feeling around to see where you want it to go exactly, but it doesn't want to go through this time. Oh, I was pinching it too hard on the other side. So at any rate, that's one way you can secure your teeth in. So you line it up where you want it, and then you would turn to the back, tie a few knots, and you can put on some clear nail polish to secure it. So that is what I did here. This is the back. It's this is the front, and they're kind of cute. And if you want to use bands, I'll give you two methods that I might, sorry, I'm losing my voice. I was reading out loud for about an hour yesterday, so after a lot of reading this week. I'll try and stay with you a little bit longer. So another option, I've seen this done in other videos, is you take a single white, make it double 8 over the bottom 2 or any 2 pegs on your loom, twist it around again and bring it back over the top. So it would look like this. And then you're going to take the bottom piece and bring it over, the bottom piece and bring it over, and hook goes up and down and out. So it would come up and then down, and you would get something like this. It's a little bit bigger, but you could pull that through the same way. So maybe put it on another hook or put it on another band, come through from the back, and you could take one or both sides, pull it back through, and you would have just this little piece sticking out. I feel like those come out just about as big as the eyes though, so they're kind of lumpy. And another thing you could try is just to weave your band in. So white band, sorry, put your hook through, grab the one end, go to the back, and then come through a little bit further, bring it back through, and then you would get something a little bit like this. So it's pretty similar. I just like the beads because they're so nice and round, and they're a little easier to control. And when all is said and done, you should have something a little bit like this. If you want to make the sideburns a little thicker, you can also grab a couple of extra browns, wrap one, put 2 on, and then you can kind of just pull it through on the side. So through one end, through the side, through here, and then you could secure it with another band, pull it through. So those are a couple of options to create some different effects. And I'll show you my finished one again here. So there is your clawed wolf, and I have some other Monster High tutorials up. I'll be sure and put this on the same playlist. So I hope you'll check them out. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.